Yo, so in a Facebook group that I'm a part of, there's a painting that someone posted and asked people what were their thoughts about the painting. And, or basically, actually, they said, what do you see? Now, I'm not going to show you the painting until we get past the introduction. So if you're watching this as a brief on Instagram, you got to come over to YouTube to watch the rest of it. But this thing has sparked a very interesting dialogue. And I'm not opposed to anybody having their opinions because I can see both ends of it. But of course, my opinion was questioned, so I did make statements about that one and about that person's opinion as well. But anybody else, I let them have their opinion. But I really want to hear you guys' opinion on what you think about this and think about this picture, and then I'm gonna explain it, what I thought, what I said, and maybe some of the other comments. But I really want to hear what you guys got to say. So hit the like button if you like it, hit the and comment. But please comment on this because I think it's a very interesting conversation in itself. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and I want to thank you for joining me on my channel. This is the Coach Lorenzo Reed channel. We talk about 360 degrees of alchemy, the mental alchemy of your life. We talk about your health, your wealth. We talk about your spirituality, and we're gonna talk about relationships in this one. And we're talking about relationships in this one mainly because of the portrait that I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes here. But go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button right now, and I definitely want to hear your comments. Definitely want to hear your comments. So let me move over a little bit because I want you guys to see this painting. So we're going to put this painting up, and many people have commented as to what do they see. So I want to ask you, what do you see? That's the first comment I want to hear from you guys. What do you see in this? Now, although this is a black family, it is my perspective that this portrait is a damaging tale across the board for every family. Every family. But it does hinder the black family more so than anybody else. It does hinder the black family more so than anybody else. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. But there was one comment that I first want to acknowledge. And one comment, the young lady said, what she saw is black people always trying to glorify their struggle. Now, if you saw the video that I did a couple of days ago, where I talked about suffering and piety is not your way to heaven, we black people, because we have been through the one of the most gruesome oppressions that in the history of time, history of man, recorded history, we like to find glory in our struggle. We instead of us striving to get out of the struggle, instead of us validating the struggle, instead of us moving beyond the struggle, using it as a catapult, we glorify it. We keep reminding over and over again that life is hard for the black family. Life is a struggle for the black family. So let me keep telling you that, so that in your mind and in your vibration, in your frequency, all you do is struggle. You keep repeating the struggle over and over and over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many times before my mind started changing its frequency that I knew that there was a cyclic thing in my life. And what was that thing? In my life, I would make a lot of money, then I would lose all the money. Then I would make a lot of money and I would lose all the money. Then I make a lot of money and I lose all the money. And I had that as a mindset. I would make $180,000 and then I make $50,000. I make $120,000, then I make $30,000. It was a cyclic thing in my life until I said, hell no, no more, can't do that. So I went through the process, still finalizing that process of changing my frequency, because as I'm going up, I cannot go back down. I must polarize myself. If you understand the laws of polarity and the law of rhythm and the law of vibration, there is a law embedded inside that called the law of polarity, where you polarize yourself to minimize the swing of the rhythm of your life. So polarization is an important factor. But the young lady said that we like to glorify our struggle. And that's one of the things that this portrait shows. It shows us glorifying our struggle, that we're always struggling. But the worst part for me, and one gentleman on here vehemently agrees with me, is that this portrait shows the man, the black man in this case, protecting his family, holding up the weight of the world against crushing his family. And what is his wife doing? She's on her bended knee praying, and she has a cross, so she's praying to a Christian God. She's praying to the God of the people who oppressed her people, that put black people in the situation that they're in today. That she's praying to the same God that told the oppressing colonials to rape, murder, pillage, to make slaves of, praying to the same God that said, tie them to a tree and chain them by the neck and beat them to death, and both cried out for the same God. Praying to the same God that they used to say that Jim Crow laws, separate but equal. You're not, your soul is being. Praying to that same God that you've been conditioned to pray to. So she's praying to the same God. How can you pray to the same God? If two people praying to the same God, how do you know who won? The one who lost. That's how. But she's praying to that God. Her daughter is clutching to her, learning not to look at what her father is doing. Not to look at what her father is doing and what kind of man she needs to be looking up to. But instead, she's looking at a mother pray and looking for something outside to come and save them when the father is struggling, trying to save that family. The little boy reaching up to his mother, almost like he can see his father, but he's hidden. He can't see his father. Why? Because the mother is hiding the father. This is not an indictment on women. But when we go to the churches, what do we see most of the time? We see women in the church praying all the time. And they're praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, but their life is not changing. Here's this man being active. And instead of getting up off your knees and moving the children out of the way to get off and up under the pressure, and then holding the rock, helping him hold the rock so both of y'all can figure out how both of you can escape the crushing blow of the rock. No, you on your knees praying. You see, the law of vibration says that it takes action, increased vibration to move you up the scale. But instead, you want to pray. Now, I'm not against praying. I know I said there's two sides of this, and I understand it. If you want to pray while you're moving the children, pray. If you want to pray while you're helping your man hold the rock and y'all trying to find the escape, pray. If both y'all are praying, pray. If you, one gentleman who questioned me, who was like, wow, I can't believe I said what I said. And he said that in his view, the man is holding up the rock and she's praying to God, to whom he gave the man the strength to be able to hold up the rock. And I said, so if she was Muslim, would that be Allah? If she was Hindu, would that be Krishna or Brahma? I said Brahma actually. If she was holding the Ankh, would that be Osiris or Heru? Who would that be? Asar? Who would she be praying to? If she was holding a lightning bolt, would she be praying to Zeus? Who is she praying to? What God gave that man strength? If she was atheist, but she was just asking the universe to give her man strength, is she praying? Who's she praying to? Agnostic. Who's she praying to? You just make a blank statement like that. Oh, she praying to God, the guy who gave that man the strength. Really? 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 So it's not the way he built his body. His body doesn't hold that strength. It's not the determination in his mind that he's going to save his family. That's not what's giving him strength. But you got to give it to something outside of that man doing what he's doing. And this is another dude. This is another dude. Now, I know I sound biased in this video, and that's okay, because I'm a dude. I'm gonna be a little biased in this one. But I can respect the woman. I can respect I can respect the fact that what she's doing. What she's doing. You know, sometimes you got to scream out. Sometimes you got to yell to the universe, yell to whatever God you call God. Yell to the elements. I don't care. Yell to something. In martial arts, you got to yell to your chi in order to get it out. Whatever you do is what you do. But sitting there on your knee waiting for the crushing blow, because that man can only hold it up for so long. He can only hold it up for so long. And you on your knees praying. Seriously? And one last comment before I go into more of a solution. One person commented that she sees something that doesn't happen. She didn't explain what it was. Probably the fact that there's a black family together, that the black man is there protecting his family. This is an unfortunate circumstance of our current reality. And yes, we can blame and say, oh, because they changed, you know, black people were impoverished after all the Jim Crow and slavery and all that kind of stuff, so we have a harder time coming up. This is true. This is true. And we can also say that, hey, because we were in a higher percentage-wise in the food stamp welfare situation, and that when they changed the law to say that if you got a man in the house, then you can't get welfare, so it effectively broke the black family and started separating black families. Okay, I even understand that as a rationale as to why we're in our current situation. But excuses does not mean you keep living that life. At some point, personal responsibility has to come into play. At some point, As a man, you got to look and say, I know I was raised without my father, but I'd be damned if my son is going to be raised without his father. I'd be damned if my daughter's going to be raised without their father. Now, I'm saying that to you because it's a true statement of me. No indictment against my dad, but fact of the matter is, the truth is, my older sisters, he was there a hell of a lot more for them when they were born. For me, I didn't get to know my father until I was like 24, 25 when we first started getting to know each other. And that's because I got stationed in the same city he lived in, right? We never really grew into a father-son relationship. He tried, and I tried, but it just didn't happen, right? Now, the thing about it is, that's how my situation was. I grew up like that. I saw my dad, to my memory, maybe 4 times growing up between from birth up until I was maybe like 20 years old. I saw him maybe 4 times. I talked to him maybe 5 or 6 times. So I knew who he was. I knew things about him. I knew the times that he did come up to Atlanta to visit. He hung out more with my mom than with me. But am I holding on to that? I had a little bit in there, but the part that made me, that solidified in me, is that when my children were born, before they was born, I told their mom, in order for us to have children, no matter what happens, we separate, we divorce, whatever happens, if we stay together, or whatever happens, I will not have a child with any woman who's ever going to use my kids against me, ever restrict me from my children. And that was a requirement in order for us that we were married and she wanted to have children. We talked about many things, but that was one of the things that I was like drawing a line in the sand. Actually, that wasn't even in the sand. That was drawing a line in cement, and it hardened, and it was never going to change. I know what it was like to grow up without my father. Yeah, I had my grandfather, and I had uncles, and I had my brother, but it's different when you desire to have your father. So I was like, my children will not grow up without their father. It didn't matter that I grew up without mine. It didn't matter how much racism played its part. It didn't matter how much the government played its part. None of those things mattered. The only thing that mattered is that my kids would not grow up without their father. When me and their mom got divorced in 2008, as much as I wanted to leave this country then, she was staying here. She has custody of my kids, primary custody of the kids. I'm not leaving Atlanta. I'm staying right here. Now the last one is 18. I'm plotting my escape. But I'm giving him a couple years to get acclimated into adulthood. And whew, we out of here. But the thing about it was, I had to break that cycle. So I'm not allowing for the excuses. We have to break that cycle. Now I will say this. Television and radio, they personify the wrong thing. I see tons of black men with their families. I see black men pretty much every day carrying their little babies, going to the store, coming out of the house with their family. I see black men with their family all day. Young ones, middle-aged, old ones, the whole deal. So the idea that there are no black fathers with their children is BS. Ooh, that was a B. Yeah, I almost got one yesterday when I was out here. But that's some BS. There are plenty of black men who are with their fathers, but there's a mindset that we have that black men aren't with their fathers. I mean, black men aren't with their children. And that is something that I understand her saying, that I see something that I don't normally see, which is the black man protecting and providing for his family. And that's something that we have to make more common. And the way we do that, we have to continue to put forth those images of black men taking care of their families. We have to personify the black men who are taking care of their families. And hey, all you other people of other races, you best make sure, because that effect is happening all over. I see white families are breaking up. You know, Asian families are breaking up. Indian families are breaking up. Everybody's families are breaking up. The family structure in itself is in a downward spiral right now. So men have to take that position of saying, I'm not leaving my family. I'm not leaving my children. If you can't deal with the wife, don't leave your kids. Your kids ain't got nothing to do with what broke y'all up. Don't lie with. You know what? There was a young lady today, Indian girl, who evidently has a baby with a black man, and their family structure is all jacked up. The mother-in-law doesn't really care for the girl. The girl doesn't care for the other women that's in his life. They have a whole, look like some mess that should be on TV. And I can go into the whole thing, but I'm not. But it's a whole mess of stuff on the TV. And as she was talking to me, and she was complaining about the mother-in-law. Well, it ain't a mother-in-law. She came about the baby mama daddy, and she complained about the baby daddy, and she complained about, I ain't gonna tell y'all what she called them, the other women that the baby daddy mess around with. And she's complaining. I told her, it was your choice to lie with him. It was your choice to be his woman. It was your choice to have sex with him. It was your choice to create a life with him. So stop blaming everybody else and first look at yourself. Your discernment of who you lie with makes a huge difference in the outcome of your life. If you know he's shady, stop lying with him. If you know he's a liar, stop lying with him. If you know that she keeps her other children's father away from the kids on purpose and use the kids against him, don't lay with that woman. I don't care how fine she is. Don't lay with that woman. If she has no respect for the baby's mother, for the grandmother and the grandfather of her children, do you think she's going to have respect for yours? Sure, while you're together. Let y'all break up. She ain't going to have no respect for yours then. You got to use better discernment of these people. Some people look at the fact that I've dated quite a few people since I've been divorced. Here's the thing about it. I may have spent a lot of time with people I should have broken up with a lot sooner. But the fact of the matter is, I'm using discernment. I'm looking, I'm grading, I'm evaluating. I'm looking at whether or not this person is going to be good for me. I did make one mistake and spent way too much time with one person that I should have 6 years of my life. But I will tell you this. I'm getting better and better at evaluating whether or not a person is going to be good for me or not. And that's what you have to do. If a person don't match up in my chakra scale and in the outward version of that, then they can't be with me. If our big pictures aren't together, if our voice isn't together, if our heart isn't together, if we can't get together in our sacral, we can't get together in our foundation, we can't get together in these things, then we can't be with each other. We can't be with each other. In our love languages, if her love language is not affection, high levels of affection, she can't be with me. If it's not quality time, she can't be with me. If it's not acts of service, she can't be with me. I recognize this. I know this. So you got to have discernment as to who you're with. You want to restructure and strengthen the black family or any family, then we got to make better decisions from Jump Street, from start, go. And we can't sit up here and wait and say, well, you know, these things are... No. And we can't say, well, you know, that's just how it is and that's the majority. No. Start with yourself. Teach your kids. It's going to take generation after generation to build this thing. But in the world today, it won't even take as long as you think it's going to take. So we can do this. We can do this. We can change this. Now, like I said, this picture, it's bothersome to me. Because do I have a problem being with a woman who prays? I don't have a problem with that at all. As long as she respects what I believe and I respect what she believes, I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, if a woman want to be Muslim, she want to be Christian, she want to be Hindu, she want to be Buddhist, she can be anything she want to be. She respects what I believe, I respect what she believes. If we and everything else is in sync, if we got the same love languages, if we have the same big picture of life, if we have the similar and all those things, you know, we have a great friendship. Me and that woman, we can rock, we can roll together. We're good. But if I'm in the struggle, trying to provide for this family, and she's inactive, she's on her knees praying, she's not active, she's not vibrating with me, no, she got to go. She got to go. Plain and simple, she got to go. You know. Now, if she want to be holding the rock up, saying, you know, God, give me the strength. Jesus, give me the strength. El, give me the strength. Inky, give me the strength. Allah, give me the strength. Krishna, give me the strength. Brahma, give me the strength. Hero, give me the strength. She want to do all that. Why we doing it? Long as she doing it, I don't care who she calling. But I do know one thing. If I held up that damn rock and I kept her from being crushed, and then the first thing come out her mouth is, oh, I would just want to thank Jesus for not allowing us to get crushed. We gonna have a problem. Because first thing I'm going to say is like, oh, next time I'm going to just move out the way and let's see if Jesus hold up that rock for you miraculously. Let's see if that happens. Or she said, oh, we praise to Allah that the rock didn't crush us. Really? Really? I'm going to step out the way and let's see if Muhammad and Allah come and hold up that damn rock. You know, because what I saw was me holding up that rock. I may wear this but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. You ain't going to sit up there and after I done held up the rock, sit up there and say, you know, let's give glory to Ra, that you was able to hold up the rock. Ra gave you the strength. Asar gave you the strength. I'm like, hold up, partner. Going to the gym gave me the strength. The fact that I love you enough that I was going to make sure that I would die before I let you get crushed gave me the strength. If you want to, you better give me my props first, then you can give props to Allah, Asar, Jesus, Jehovah, Brahma, whomever you choose. I don't care after that. But you damn well better acknowledge that I held that freaking rock up. You damn well better acknowledge that I built my company so that we can buy that house. You damn well better acknowledge that I put that I put together a budget plan so that we can take these trips. You damn well better acknowledge all the stuff that I did in order for us to live this life before you go and give all this praise and glory to something outside. If you want to give it after, fine. Like my kid's mom, when we was married, when I would get when I got the job that wound up paying me $180, her first statements to me was, oh, congratulations, baby, you went in there and you did it, you did the interview, you rocked it, because it was a phone interview. So she was like, you rocked it. She was like, oh, that's amazing, I'm so proud of you. She gave me my accolades. Later on, she prayed, she thanked God, she pseudo-Christian, she thanked God, she thanked the Christian God after that, and I didn't care after that. I didn't care after that. You know, there was a testimony one time, and you know, she was for a similar situation, and she was like, you know, he went out, he put forth the effort, he worked, you know, I saw him working tireless hours to make sure that his family taken care of, and we had this and had that and blah 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 blah. And she gave me my accolade, and she was like, and I just want to thank God and all of that, and thank the family and everybody else. But some of y'all may think I'm wrong for that. Particularly, I don't care. But y'all need to understand, when a man goes out and he puts forth all this vibration to feed you, to protect you, to provide for you, and the first thing you do is give some deity the credit for it, all you did was piss on that man's grave. All you did was sit up there and say that your efforts are meaningless. Your efforts, without God, you could have never done it. Bullshit. Because there are many atheists who do it. There are many Muslims who do it, so what does a Christian have to say? There are many Buddhists who do it, so what does the Muslim have to say? There are many Christians who do it, so what does the Hindu have to say? So, quit cutting man to the quick, as if people don't have the ability to get things done. If you've been around me and you're a business person, and you are doing anything, you've been around me, you know that I give you credit first, always. Then I might give, if you believe in something, I might give you that and say, okay, now you're going to praise your God, whatever, but I'm going to give you your credit first. Because without you, it don't happen. Without you, it doesn't happen. Without you, it never happens. And for anybody else who got something to say, I'm going to leave this with one last thing about it. All of y'all got literature. Who wrote the literature? Some human wrote it. Your God didn't write it. So your God even needed a human to write it. I'm just saying. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. And tell me what you saw. Tell me what you saw.